Well, the COVID-19 outbreak got me spending a lot more time at home, social distancing being what it is to prevent spreading and all that, flatten the curve and whatnot. Um, I'm having to clean up my workbench so I can work my day job from home. Um, and found a little something that reminded me of a story and figured I'd share. So, this is about cars or vehicles in general. Um, Wheel locks are a thing. Um, it's something devised so as to prevent people from stealing wheels on your cars. Basically, what you have is some on each one of your wheels. One of your set of lug nuts on a wheel is going to look something like this. Um, Basically, this will be the nut that fits on the stud. Instead of having exterior protrusions like a normal nut would, it has this indention, this star-like indention right here that matches up to the key, which is this guy right here, this big key, and the wrench goes on the back of that, and you put the socket over the nut, and you wrench down on it, and the star in here engages on this little indentation, and off comes the nut. Well, what happens if you don't have this key? Well, um, then you have to get creative, and that happened to me. Well, it happened to my wife. One night she gives me a call after getting off work saying, "Oh man, one of my tires is flat. I'm at a gas station. I need some help." So, being the loving husband I am, I oblige her. And I get out there, brought some extra tools just to make life a little easier, because nobody likes having to deal with the wretched gear that they give you to change a flat. So I had some decent tools with me, and first question I asked is, where's your wheel lock? Let's get your wheel locks, get those off first, and make things easier. So we start looking for the wheel lock, and we can't find it. We tore apart the whole car looking for the wheel lock, and it was not there. So we had to get creative. Um, Doing some research and figuring things out on the side of the road or at a gas station. Um, Figured the best thing we could do was go buy a 3/4 inch 12 point socket to go on the end of my breaker bar, to fit on the end of my 1/2 inch breaker bar, and try that. Basically, took a hammer and a 3/4 inch 12 point socket. You can see the 12 points, and hammered it on to the back of the wheel lock. And you can see the 12 points there engaging just outside of the wheel lock. So basically, I took the hammer that I have in my truck and just beat the hell out of that socket till it fit on the edge of the back end of the wheel locks, and then just took it off like it was any other bolt. The only way you'll get this off is by threading this lock back on the stud and beating the socket off with a hammer, and then you can just by hand twist the lock the rest of the way off. So, yeah, that was an interesting experience. Took a while. It was about 9 o'clock at night. Things were getting sketchy in that part of town, so we had to figure out a solution to a problem. I'll tell you what that did make me do. That made me lose pretty much all respect for wheel locks. I mean, these things, I'm not impressed with them anymore. There's no resistance. I mean, if this is all it takes to beat wheel locks, then they're not worth the trouble, in my opinion. But that's just a quick story I wanted to share, because why not? I got some time on my hands all of a sudden. So, alright, now that I've touched my phone again, I'm going to wash my hands. Y'all be good.